Yo, 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 it's Tex, what up? Honestly, when it was 11-12, it was at the very last round. We could definitely feel the pressure hitting. Even the round before that, I think when King and Luzino lost the 2v2, because I think Chichu just walked out heaven randomly on a timing. I think that's when I realized, like, it's getting pretty scary. But yeah, honestly, it's whatever. I think I just gotta make sure the boys aren't too down on themselves individually. And we just gotta fix some fundamentals and we'll be good. I'm honestly chilling. We have another chance. I think my team matches up pretty well against Heretics. So honestly, I'm not too worried.
Holding his ground.
Carlin hits the trap. Tex finding one. Smoggy not dead yet. Pops the ultimate to get himself back in, but Tex is just unassailing.
Yeah, Team Heretics, they play really well together. They have really good individual moments. Definitely have a unique playstyle on maps like Icebox, where they play like a Neon on Miniboo. So we had to make some adjustments. So it's really interesting playing them. We beat them before, but it was a close game. And you know, we both kind of learn how to play against each other when you play. So rematches are always different. But yeah, excited to play and let's see what happens.
Oh, Leviathan, they're on the board in this lower bracket best of 5, which means we will be guaranteed one more map. Look at what it means to them, the passion on these players' faces as well. I'm Yingsu and I'm back here with Mimi, Paperthin, and Achilleos. I cannot believe they managed to force another map. How crazy was that? Was that head-to-head?
It was.
I can't speak.
It was damn wild, and that's why we're all struggling to find our words here. But yeah, the Abyss pick, we weren't sure how it was going to look here for the side of Leviathan, and it was off to a bit of a shaky start. You know, get those first couple rounds, but then that Thrifty comes through from the side of Heretics, and it just felt like they were going to be building up all this momentum and just end up, you know, mowing down Leviathan, but they stuck in there and they got the win.
What I think part of what makes them so hard to play against is like just how good they are at taking mid control on this map compared to other teams. I feel like they're so oppressive with that Harbor utility at pressuring that space, threatening these walk-ups. Heretics are having to invest so many players on their defense to deal with that. And on top of that, Clint, they're winning rounds like this one.
How?
I mean, this is just absolutely insanity. I mean, so this could have been done a little bit differently here by Boo. He didn't need to spam this cove like this. He should have just saved those bullets and just ran right in off the rip, but then he's out of bullets in both guns.
Both whiz right past it.
I mean, it happened to Zekin with the Blade Storm. It happened to Zekin with Blade Storm yesterday.
It's something about this map. It's something about this.
It reminds me of the like Psalm Cove rounds from Champions or Tokyo back then. Like those moments are the ones that players remember that are so heartbreaking when you're that close.
And this too. What the hell happened here?
I mean this was just calm on Ascent versus Paper X, getting the 1-2 transfer. I cast that moment and I was reliving it right there watching.
If he wants to win another trophy, he's got to play like he did in Champions 2023. And I thought that would just be like, you know, in performance, in being good, in having his moments. No, it's play exactly the same way and win rounds on the flank single-handedly. Just ridiculous
Flanking
stuff.
all day long.
That's all he does.
I mean, we talk about Leviathan on the winning side of these rounds, but on the losing side, if you're Team Heretics, you have to be boomed by situations like that. They were crazy, crazy situations.
And you could kind of see it in some of their gameplay too. Like they started making mistakes where they were stepping a little bit ahead of a smoke blooming and things like that, where they were giving opportunities for Leviathan to get free kills. And it seemed like some of those moments, like Tex hitting that shot in a mini boo as he's dashing up above the box on A, like things like that were really starting to set them off kilter, off pace. And then even in Com's moment where he got that sick double spray we were just talking about, Rienz is watching that angle for the longest time, turns around, and that's when Com strikes. Like just little timings, little mental things started to fall apart for them. Yeah, this is that right there.
That shot.
Freaking disgusting.
Absolutely outstanding. And Tex has been so consistent all year at providing this value for his team. Out of all the Sentinel players at this tournament, he is taking more forced duels on the defensive side than anyone else. He is so willing to take those risks when he's anchoring his site. And sometimes you see it get punished. I think earlier in this series, on Lotus in particular, he had a lot of those first deaths when he was taking those risks. But in this map, he was really finding the value. And I think being willing to go for those plays, to trust his aim in those moments is so huge. Because when we talk about rookies, we're thinking about Los Niños on the other side. But Tex won Ascension last year in Americas. He was with what was then the Guard, what became G2. This is his rookie year as well, and he has been performing out of this world.
Yeah, he really has been. It's incredible. And it's also just weird. Like, why is he so good with the Sheriff?
It's crazy.
You got a guy named Tex, you give him a 6-shooter, and somehow he's just absolutely cracked with it. It goes hand in hand. But I am so very impressed with how much value he's able to find round over round. And I think that if it's not for him having the performance that he did, this is a 3-0. You know, completely and utterly. Not to say that nobody else on LEV did, you know, their own efforts here, but Tex did so much work on Abyss to keep them in this series.
Yeah, and you got to give it to their coach as well. Itapata coming in here. I would love to be backstage and hear what he's been saying to these guys when they were 2-0 down to go out there on Abyss, paper thin, and turn things around and perhaps kick off the start of a reverse sweep.
Yeah, well, I mean, my guess is it's coach speak where he's like, just stick to the plan, you know, all these, you know, kind of typical platitudes, but it's what they did in between yesterday and today. The little changes that they made, like Aspas being the tip of the spear a lot more often on their attacker side, able to break things open for them, showing different looks. One time they used the harbor wall to push up with Aspas after they picked up the operator for him towards mid. It got shut down. The next round, they just dry pushed all the way through and then caught Heretics completely off guard. So a lot of things like that were round around. They're showing you a lot of different looks, and there were some very little minor changes in some of their formations that gave them a lot more success.
And I mean, look at the change once Etapata took control as the head coach of this team. They were struggling early this year, and then the organization decided to elevate him to head coach from assistant coach before, and they've had that 12-3 record since then. The players have talked a lot about how much impact he has in fixing some of the more micro stuff about their gameplay, in adjusting compositions, things like that. He's been a huge boom for this team to have the end of the year that they've now found.
And I think that it goes along with the trend that we've kind of been seeing across all of the different regions, which is teams taking risks, making changes, big overarching changes to the staff as well as the rosters, and then finding success off the back of it. Think about Mako going to IGL, this guy here, Itapata coming in, becoming that head coach, same for Muggle with the transition there on EDG. These teams are taking these risks and they're now being rewarded for it.
And speaking of risks, we are going to go to Lotus. The Heretics, they had the choice of going Lotus here or Haven, and they picked the map. They have already lost against Leviathan.
And honestly, for me going into this one, I'm not even looking at the maps. I'm looking at the mental for this Team Heretic squad. Yes. This is a rookie squad. 4 new players on that stage who have had an excellent year, but have yet to win a best out of 5 this year. That is not a 3-0. No one's ever gotten reverse swept at Champions before, but if there was a team to do it, it would be the only squad left with former champion winning players on it.
No doubt about it. And I think it's tough for Heretics because you've been in these situations against Gen.G, for example, right? You lose the first map, you win the next 2, you're in the driver's seat. Gen.G on this very map, on Lotus, comes out, slaps you on map 4, like 13-4, I think it was, and it just fell apart for them. 13-3 on Split, and Gen.G wins Shanghai. So they need to find a different mentality for this Lotus.
No,
they
really
gotta be feeling that, right? You would think that they've been here before.
Yeah, they have been. And what I was hopeful when we're teeing up this matchup is that they learn from that experience, much, again, like Gen.G did versus Sentinels over at Madrid. Utilize what you learned there. Build that motivation and that endurance to be able to persevere through a long series. But that one player, again, that was not there, was mini boosted. This is his first time being in this situation, so it is very much on the rest of the team to big him up, to keep him focused and get him back into the driver's seat, because that Abyss was a bit of a rough showing for him.
The player with more experience on the roster, though, is his older brother, Boo. It's so special that they get to play together on a stage this big with their family watching here. The team has talked so much about the relationship they've built throughout this year. They've been together playing in so many tournaments from the start and have been through so much hardship. If you think back to that lower bracket run at Shanghai, they have the tools to come back into this one and close this series out, but it is still going to be difficult against a squad like LEV.
It just has to be Lotus, doesn't it? It's almost poetic that it has to be Lotus. But for Leviathan, though, they've done the hard part already to just stay alive. Pressure almost feels like it's on the side of Heretics. All LEV have to do is just to do what they already did against Heretics the last time.
Yeah, I mean, the pressure now, as soon as you switch sides on Abyss, all of a sudden, all the pressure felt like it was on Heretics. Leviathan comes out, wins that Pistols, then those rounds start getting scrappy, but Leviathan are the ones, time and time again, coming out ahead of it. Heretics' mental starting to crumble a little bit, so absolutely, you know, you can see these veterans calm. The ever-present, just jubilant nature that he has keeps this squad in check, keeps them in line, and we'll see if Heretics can do it, but
yeah, we will see indeed. And let's take a look at agent select. There will be no changes at this point. Why would you?
I wouldn't.
We don't expect any of that, and don't get it. I think the biggest thing is that this is another map where Team Heretics felt like their Neon ideas were getting too predictable. They moved away from it. Now they're playing this default Fnatic comp, and I think they have looked quite good here, even taking down Fnatic on this map. But for me, all the questions go to their defensive side. They led in the series against Leviathan, and then they could only win 2 defensive rounds. Ended up losing that map and dropping to the lower bracket.
Yeah, and that's something that you cannot have happen. You need to be able to rack up at least a couple on the defensive side. You know, 8-4, something like that, 7-5 more preferable. But if you're going to be going in only 2 rounds accrued on the defending side, you're going to have a rough time.
Well, this is it. Another opportunity for Heretics to close this one out. But Leviathan, can they send us to a map fight? Let's find out now and send it back to your casters. It's Pansy and Steel.
This is the map where it all might change, where it goes from a glimmer to a reality of a reverse sweep. However, we're not there yet. They've met here before like they met on Icebox. This time it was a 13-10 towards LEV. They looked great, they looked strong. Yet a great performance from Aspas too, absolutely melting. But we saw the Icebox changed. Whole new result, no OT, not even that close really. Well, it was 13-7 in the end. But has Abyss shaken them, Josh, or are they here to play?
Team Heretics had that Abyss. It came down to slim margins. It came down to that big, crucial moment, the Cove moment for Boo. Here, though, I worry for Team Heretics. They've been shying away from this map ever since they made this change. Benji to Killjoy. Boo's on Fade instead of Smokes. Woot's on Omen instead of Gecko. What? They need to do something different.
Nice little trap play towards middle, but Boo, unaffected so far actually, managing to evade all the util and gets to retake that area. They get to re-clear it as well. Benji, his patience paying off there, sitting deep. So the early foray, the early attempt from LEV, not really getting its reward.
That actually pulled out a lot of really useful utility from the defense side. They don't have these pieces of util right now to use in the retake. The paint shells is gone. They've used Seize, they've used Stun, Aftershock. Yes, the stun will come back, but if Team Heretics picks the right site, if they're going here to A site, looks like that's where they're committed. That's where LEV's setting up that retake. It all comes down to the fact that Team Heretics is actually going to have better utility to stop this retake from coming in the first place. All they need to do is figure out that the site's open and walk in instead of using all of their abilities to get into the site. It is free for the taking.
Flanks on the way though. That turret will alert them pretty quickly that they should be surrounded on all fronts.
I found my wire.
One's going to come in, try and get the time on their side. Slow progress from King, so it's going to take a moment.
Paranoia.
Oh, belting shot though from Benji. Backline still remains his. Mini Boo as well, finding success over towards CT with a follow-up too. And now sadly for King, he's a little too far away to be able to set anything to motion with that Paranoia. Mazzino was meant to be on that flank before, but Benji, oh, just about heard that then. He's still on the hunt. Beautiful. It's King, last one alive. Feels like a formality. And it absolutely is. Heretics 5 alive here.
A flawless opening. There's a few things I look to in this round that makes me think Team Heretics might actually get a big runaway with a lot of rounds in a row here. 1, the way they dealt with that trap at B early round. 2, the way that Benji was able to smack that first shot down. He's looking like he's on point. 3, off of Benji finding out that that flank was coming in, instantly there was a reaction to push into spawn up that rope from the rest of the team. So Team Heretics looking like they're firing on all cylinders right now.
Yeah, let's see how it goes on though, because we do still have this round where you can never write them out. You're going to look for stacks, little maybe pocket plays. They're very good. You can see them almost attempting in that first round too. Trying to make something happen for themselves there towards middle. Didn't really work out in the end.
Another trap.
And again,
dealt with.
It feels like Heretics are quite aware. Maybe just heads up adjustments, you know, maybe just not falling for it. But as it stands, sadly for LEV, even with all these attempts, unable to really get any rewards for them.
Another good approach from Team Heretics here to avoid this trap. And on this timing that these pieces of util are on cooldown.
They weren't able to clear King.
They weren't, but it doesn't matter. It's just the better guns are all together. Yeah. This is where they want to go. Until that stun comes back online, there's nothing that LEV can really do in the defense here.
But I do still like the trying to be instigators though. I like the trying to make little plays here. You're not going to win a fair fight when you only have a Sheriff or a Classic. So why not try and go for something?
It's going to be back-to-back flawless rounds here to open up the map for Team Heretics. And keeping in mind, they could have closed this series out 3-0, gone straight to the grand finals tomorrow. But instead, they have to come back and revisit a map that they've not wanted to play in the more recent matchups. They haven't had success once they switched to that double controller style.
Yeah.
And the reason why they were so good before is because they had that kind of all-in neon fade, breach, just dump everything and execute. But they switch over to this double controller type of style. And we see how it works for LEV when they play their attack sides, splitting up the map, depositing players, doing these audibles, manipulating the rotations. That's something that Team Heretics didn't really do that well. Miniboo trying to close this out, get that kill. Benji, get away from that spike.
Yeah, time to move here. Com going to be able to go down towards the spike. But otherwise, I mean, near on perfect.
And Team Heretics, I mean, they're in control. They have the double controller. It's whether or not they know how to play this composition on a map like Lotus, where there's so many possibilities for you to use the revolving door, that blue room, that breakable door, and pivot back and forth, deposit players, and have these proper audibles. It's something that hasn't been working for Team Heretics. And when you run a double controller comp on this map and you're starting attack side, it's something that you need to rely on. So let's see. Has Team Heretics developed that? Fast opening again into their smoke. They're going to take this space for free. Lev on that heavy A defense. Tex, both chips and a camera on B, expecting that bonus round was going to be a fast B play, but instead it's a C play. It's not going to be stopped. And Boo still holding that A lobby control.
Yeah, so many rifles out as well for Heretics. This is going to be a heavy hitting bonus. You're looking at King to keep control towards C, but already they're going to start testing the rest of the map here too.
Not committing the spike onto the site yet. Stun, paranoias, everything's still in play right now. Once the spike gets planted, that's when this flood's going to come.
Woot might be ahead of this by a touch. I want to see if he tries to just go for this one, and he absolutely does. He didn't need to go that far, maybe. The paranoia, he'd have been able to see him. And now denial on the plant. Potentially an overheat, maybe a misstep here by Woot. And for Lev, they get to keep 5 alive. 4 of them now standing tall on the site. Heretics forced down towards that lower side. Smoke goes in towards main, they're ahead of it, but Tex with 2, and a 3rd for Tex. His impact has been off the charts during this series, and King to close. Lev, strike back.
A flawless response from Lev, and I have to sit there and wonder, what is Team Heretics doing? We have the site for free, the paranoia, but you're gonna push in. It's a near site. You're in a smoke. You're near site distance. That is, again, we talk about the agent composition change. We talk about the role swaps. Woot doesn't really play Omen on any of these other maps. It's been Boo on every map who's been playing that Omen Astra role. Rians has been on Sova, and that's where he plays his best. Right now, he's on Viper. And right now, the fact that they had the site and they didn't do anything with it, that's not good enough. Lev trying to pick up the pieces right now. They have that A space. They get that off the back of basically just the haunt, but that Viper wall means that it's very difficult to get that information. That jump spot needs to come in, and it's so easy to punish that if you have the right weapon or the right pre-aim. Calm, playing with fire a little bit, but here already 3 players on the attack towards that C site, ready to just go in.
But it's the switch up of having Tex here that I like. Seems like such a steady player for Lev.
Okay, that was the plan from Heretics. They wanted to push back the A players, cause the players to sit there, passive, weakens up that C site rotation. And now the hit's going to come in. Team Heretics, they'll get the site. Miniboo has the paint shells to clear out. Elbow, he has a showstopper to get in their faces as well. It all comes down to, do they get the spike planted? How do they deal with the post plant?
Tex deciding, yeah, time to back away. Doesn't want to go too far here. Thought maybe Mazzino might have been on that corner, but probably luckily he wasn't. That paint shell to follow. But
Nice.
He does go down. Maybe a gap in the smoke there. Gives Miniboo just a pixel to play with. They've kept control of CT, and I'm curious if there's an overstep this time. I can imagine that's not the case.
King, he's got paranoia. There's seized and paint shells. That could be a good combo
Big
for Elbow, and they're in the position to do it. Here
Paranoia.
it comes Boo.
It's huge.
He's gonna go down.
Surely.
He got away.
Boo's still
How?
alive. With a second chance of life, he goes back towards the site. Woot's still up top. Miniboo down below. Aspas trying to find one of these players. Isolate someone. He's done it. Rienz falls. Now it falls towards Boo. Gets overwhelmed. Tex clearing house. Put it on the top of the box. The numbers stay with Heretics. And they answer back in round 4.
I don't know if that was by design or if it's just one of these things that happen with that roll swap. Woot, there's a gap in that Omen smoke to the right side of it, and I like how Team Heretics has planned this out. As soon as they go in with that showstopper, the way that they have to plant the spike, it's open to that spam from Waterfall. So instantly, Miniboo comes over here, sends that paint shell out to kind of zone out any players from being able to get that spam onto that spike planter, and they deal with that so well. LEV, they try their best, but their combo does not connect.
Incredibly tense now between these two. First time we're seeing a dedicated effort towards this A site once these rifles have come into play. Mazzino catching a glimpse and deciding to fall away towards site. It's going to be Tex. Feeling like he's everywhere this round.
He definitely...
From last time towards C, now going for a bit of a gamble stack here on A. And it's not the wrong read.
He wants to be more involved in the fights and the action. Rightly so.
Oh, look at them though, already backing towards B.
Oh my.
Rienz, what is that? Well, a third was on the cards, but not to beat. But a quick read, Com knows what's up. He can hear them already bounding towards that B site. Needs to call in the cavalry, as they are trailing the man here. Aren't gonna go through.
Paranoia in.
Paranoia, anyone gonna work with this? Now they go, but it's too late in the day. Miniboo recovers vision, drops the body. Mazzino, good trade. But a 3v2, struggling to get the time on their side and get this plant down.
2v3, spike's not planted. 30 seconds. Aftershock for Mazzino can funnel these guys away. That smoke on main.
It's nice.
It's all about these first kills.
Carving up at least a 2v2 on the site itself, but you can see how close Benji is sitting. Oh, I thought there was a chance for the spray on this one. Mazzino now. He may know where one of them is, but to find Benji would be hard. He knows where he is now, but time is the biggest factor. Boo!
Okay.
Boo's having, I want to say a nightmare, but Mazzino now given an opportunity. The time is going to be very, very low here, but he might be able to get this towards half. Takes a little bit of damage, but he's got himself an opportunity. And he's definitely got time, but he doesn't have the capability to outdo Benji there.
I love the timing on that swing from Benji. As soon as that tap on that spike comes in again, the swing's coming in before any possibility of reacting to it. But Rienz with those first 2 opening kills, dodging that seized plus paint shells combo behind rubble and getting 2 kills off the back of it. That was the difference maker in this round. And we don't get to see this guy on that Viper, on that lurk roll. He's usually with the pack as Gecko, as Sova. He doesn't get to, you know, play these rounds out. So being able to see him change that up and get value is really nice.
Be careful with this scoreline now as well, Lev. That's going to be 5-1 likely here, considering it's only Sheriffs. A couple of odds are really nearby, actually. So maybe with Mazzino on this rifle, I don't know. Maybe there's something to be said about it. One off the showstopper. One away from Rolling Thunder, but as it stands, it's the plant for Heretics.
Some counter util available for the defenders, but that first pick going into the...
And now we've got the Rolling Thunder, but look at the counterplay coming in already towards Waterfall. They want to try and take space away that should be secure, and it looks like they've got at least that. We're going to play back in, isolates Aspas. This is the problem, though. Now they're down to the Sheriffs. But with Tex alive, he has been sharp with this Sheriff. Maybe his time to shine here. Door now open, Woot on a platter. Can't be taken down, though. Stands tall. And Mazzino, who started this, can't close it. Benji is there, and Heretics taking a strong lead now.
This map is a map where, because you have those 3 sites, because you have this access to the revolving doors, it spreads the defense so thin. If you try to defend A, you have to leave C open. If you try to defend C, you leave A open. If you try to defend both A and C at the same time, you leave B open. There's always a gap. Team Heretics, because they deathball as 5 so frequently, they're going to be able to outnumber you anywhere they choose to go. And if they keep enough utility into those late rounds, the post plants, as soon as you try to get back into the round with your stuns, your flashes, anything like that, here comes a Viper Molly, here comes a paint shell, here comes some piece of utility. And now that Heretics is building on their economy, building on their ultimate economy, Lockdown almost in play, Viper's Pit almost in play, Showstopper almost back in play, and LEV, they're down trailing by 4, but they haven't had a real grip on the game yet. They've been defending towards A early and then pivoting back, but right now, Team Heretics they're not really fighting for that space right now. They're happy to go for that C space first and then come back into A when they know that usually it's 1 or 2 people jump spotting, maybe trying to hold in case you do come back for that retake. But because of that, Team Heretics just gets to that site for free constantly, and they get to close out. Now LEV, they call that timeout. They have that showstopper on Aspas. They have the chance to be able to do something with it if they choose to do it.
And remember, last time around these two met, it was Aspas who had an absolute flyer of a series. Top of the board now, only 1 to 5. Uncharacteristically quiet for him. Gonna need him to show a little bit of that spark. Or we know he has. Everyone knows his potential, his capability. Rien's looking to maybe do a little bit of something he did before. Finding those 2 kills was paramount to Heretics' good conversion the previous. Now, back to a different setup here.
LEV starting with that heavy A defense. It's all on Tex to defend against the C site, and the rotation can't get here in time.
And he's so committed. I don't know how he gets away from this. Or maybe he doesn't want to. Maybe he wanted to try and stand and fight, but a 1-for-1 trade, I don't know if it's enough.
You should run.
Lockdown in play. Players already on the site. That's just going to zone them out to give them enough space to get into the site and plant. But look at Benji. He's already placing that turret for the flank. Here comes the plant. And Rien's, he's going to get it. He's got the Viper's Pit if he locks that down in spawn or waterfall. This is another round for Team Heretics.
See if they want to go for it. Look, yeah, opting towards CT. Covering that off. This then encourages Aspas. Can he find a man? Drop the body. He can, but he takes himself down with it. And now down to the 3v3. Benji on the back lines being pressured. Is booted to deliver towards Mazzino. And now, back and forth we go. But the Viper's Pit on the site is the problem. They still have to clear past this. Com and King both wanting to close in now.
Tucking into spawn as well.
King gonna fall first though. It's all on Com in a 1v2 and he's trying, but they're gonna surely check on him. Boo! Keeping Heretics moving forward. The scoreline starting to become a problem.
Keep in mind, LEV just called a timeout. They had that gun round, they lost. Team Heretics takes the lead, puts LEV on another eco round. Lots of ultimates invested in that. Aspas uses Showstopper, goes 1-for-1, dies to it because he's in that Viper's Pit. He's taking that early damage. And now, the lead building for Team Heretics. It's insurmountable right now. LEV, they need to find a way to stop the bleeding, but their economy, everything is reflecting it. And look, the overreaction, the C defense, they're leaving A exposed, and Team Heretics a step ahead again. They're going towards A this time. Benji, though, in spawn, holding that mid push, has that turret to watch that C push, and this A site again. LEV, you cannot defend it with only 2. Even if Breach gets here in time, it might not be enough.
No, and you look at the buy as well. It's Sheriffs, it's Stingers, Rien's on the punish. Miniboo tethered, but it doesn't really matter. He's still standing, and he is still fighting. Miniboo!
Stop.
Back to back. Oh, for LEV, this is horrific. Held on 1 after what was a brilliant resurgence on Abyss. 13-9, we started to see all the stars aligning. Thinking maybe this was enough to bring them back into this series. And then we get here. The worries return, the issues return, and Heretics picking up where they left off. Looking cool, composed, and now very much in control.
Collecting another round. Miniboo has that showstopper now. Boo has that Nightfall. And again, Team Heretics staying a step ahead. Hitting C until LEV overreact, plays C. Hitting A exactly when they leave it exposed. Now with these ultimates, I want to see something fun. I want to see something with pressure towards one spot and slipping the gap. I've seen it before where they try to go towards A, make that pressure, and before you know it, in a blink of an eye, Miniboo through middle, through B, in the back with that showstopper. But right now, I think they're lining it up.
Looks like it.
Maybe just a little bit of pressure, maybe trying to figure out if this A defense is here to confirm it, to let them know that this is possible.
Yeah, Pacey already straight on in. Miniboo gonna pop the ult here and just secure space.
Absorb.
You can see how far back they have to sit here. It gives them time for the plant, but an opportunity for the retake. You're looking at Com here, you're looking at Tex potentially.
Woo.
Big opportunity, but Woo waiting. denies anyone access through that blue door, gives them safety, allows them to all pour their attention towards CT, towards that connector. The counter ult on both sides going through. Miniboo, Boo, waiting, you see them both. That should be both tethered. Miniboo can now turn for a second. Now the paranoia goes in towards CT. Miniboo draws blood, re-ends, Heretics line him up and knock him down.
Team Heretics right now are unstoppable, rolling through, staying one step ahead every time. It's just impossible. When you're hitting shots like this, when you're finding the openings, when you're not afraid, when you are flying on high confidence, it is so hard to stop a team that is like this right now with these crossfires. And LEV, they don't have an answer. They need to figure out a way to defend against Team Heretics, but part of that might be just having to have better retake protocols. They are guessing the wrong spots, but here they might guess the right spot.
Ooh. Seized up, here we go.
Okay, that's a
Tex
start.
Finding re-ends, now gonna apply the pressure! And Heretics withstand! 3 back-to-back, and LEV are trying to throw everything they have at them. They don't want to go out like this. So close to that grand final. And watch it slip. 1 round, all they've been able to post so far. Tex trying to dig deep, but he gets put in his grave. Now King. A 1v3, we talked about his timings, his ability to find space, to give LEV so many options in previous maps, but now he has to clutch up. There's no two ways to say it. They need impact. They need someone to stand tall. He's not slowing down by any means. He's in there. Trying to toy with their expectations on the TP, but they know what's going on. The Haunt gonna ensure it. Nice shot from King, a better trade from Boo. At this point, it's 9-1. This game may be nearly over.
It's probably nearly over at this point, the way that Team Heretics has been fighting back. Again, you look at that last map of Abyss, you look at how it fell apart for Team Heretics at the end there. It wasn't to a lack of planning or prep or strats or player performance. It's that Cove incident. It comes back to that round. It just unraveled. The rest of Team Heretics gave LEV that little bump to get to that finish line, to take us to this map. But now Team Heretics is showing why this map was in their wheelhouse for so long, and they look revitalized on it right now. I did not expect this coming into this. I was nervous for Team Heretics. They've been putting it away. They picked Icebox against Sentinels instead of, you know, picking, I think they banned Lotus even, in fact. So the fact that they're able to come out here on Lotus and look like this.
I mean, and rightly so. Heretics picked this map before. They only got 10 rounds. LEV got 13. They played here. We already knew how this went. But the difference is how close Heretics now are. They can see it. They can nearly touch it. That trophy, so close to them. A chance to fight for it. A chance to right their wrongs in previous finals. And no bigger stage than champions. But they still have to get past LEV. They've done the hard work initially. Couple of maps behind them now. And they've done so much heavy lifting here. 9 rounds. Look at the run of them. For LEV, trying to prove how bad you want it. Do you have it in you? Do you still have gas in the tank? Another gear to shift to. It's now or it's never. 1 round is not enough of a buffer. I don't care who you are. You got to give us a little more, LEV.
You got to get at least 3. That sets it all up. Team Heretics off the back of that timeout called from LEV. Holding, waiting. Seeing if LEV goes for another aggressive play. They just tried it, didn't work. But LEV is still 1 defending C, 2 defending front of B, and 2 to defend A. So split. Anywhere Team Heretics chooses to go, they have a 5v2 at worst. Alarm bot set for that flank. Now here comes the orb collected, the tree room open, haunt through.
Aspas. First time we're seeing him test this in what feels like this entire game, apart from 1 flank we saw earlier on.
And alarm bot, man.
Yeah, they doubled down. They're taking no chances here. And they're feeling surrounded, but look at Tex.
Is that the go?
It's so precarious. This positioning from Tex, it feels like feast or famine, and he's played it glorious with a ghost clears him. How is this happening? They're being brought down to the ground here. 5 still up for Heretics. They got the plant. Benji backfilling the space on CT. Aspas, every step is so arduous. And we need the Magic Man to pull a trick out of the hat, pull something out, show us something here, Lev. Going out with a whimper is not it. 3 kills for Aspas. This feels like we've shifted into a whole different reality. He's dead. He's done for. It's 10 already for Heretics.
I've lost count of how many times Lev has gone for these flanks, and it does not work against Team Heretics. The style that they play, as soon as they see that flank coming in, they know it's not just one player. They know it's multiple, and they press forwards. They know at worst they're in front of a 5 versus 3, and they claim that space. It's been the name of the game, and Team Heretics, they look insane on this attack side. Lev, a slow opening, a more passive approach to that A. Yes, they use a one-way. Yes, they use an orb, but they keep that stun on Mazzino. He's got that over towards C. If this hit comes back towards C, they break that trip. Mazzino gets that stun off, gets that swing, asks for the cage, and lays them up.
Bring them down.
Mazzino, pressure on his shoulders here. Trying to hold the site, calling the cavalry. Aspas now, right place, but we're still above a minute. They can pivot.
Open the revolving door, create that pressure. Make them question whether or not it's B. Look how it's dealing with the rotations. Tech's already picking up that waterfall B area. King has to watch it from the blue room. It's just calm on that A defense. Right now, Spike looks like they want to QB sneak it back into that C site after some sort of pressure elsewhere on the map. Remember, this revolving door, they can always connect back here after they pressure A or B.
Tex, bit of a headliner. And I thought a bit of a head taker there. Only gets down Wu, but I thought he might have had Mini Boo as well.
And look how that exposed that C site though. Aspas needs to go big from this waterfall, deny that plant.
And it's Aspas, you call upon him. Maybe it's his time to answer that call. 13 seconds. They can get the plant here. He can't deny it.
Peaked.
Giving him no quarter. King falls. And now on com. A 2v1. Can he give him anything? A touch to work with. Desperate attempt to Boo. Bodies him. It's 11 rounds to Heretics. Nearly securing the grand final in one half. Josh, this has been a masterclass here. A night and day difference from the last time they met. This is Heretics with one goal in mind. to 1. It's a condemning scoreline. 1 round for Lev. The third was all they could gather. And Heretics so close now. Becoming tangible. Becoming reality. And now they just have to close. A comeback would be a miracle for Lev. It's not impossible, but they better be praying.
It needs to be flawless, perfection. Lev They burned both their timeouts. 1 to 5 they were down, 1 to 9 they were down. That's when they burned them and they got no value from it. Team Heretics has been a step ahead every single time. The players have been on point, winning their duels, and they've been crushing with sheer numbers everywhere they go. And now LEV need to respond in kind if they want to have a chance to take it to a final map. But right now, it looks like they don't have that teamwork. Can they show us, prove to us that they do have it in them? Slow opening. LEV don't want to make any missteps. Can't make a mistake. Don't want to make a misstep right here.
Yeah, it's so
Everything.
dangerous.
The same approach that they had on Abyss, right? They went towards B after a little bit of A pressure. Tex and Ospas leading the charge, but here, Benji playing that retake, waiting for the rest of his team to come back. This is what was working so well in some of these retakes in the previous maps. Team Heretics, as they group, reach critical mass. They have the paint shells. Haunt, no C's though. That paranoia coming in, Woot in the back. Here it comes, and here comes the retake.
Yeah, smokes in, haunts up, paranoia too deep, Miniboo on the way, first man falls, Aspas King trying to desperately claw into this, hold on, give them a chance, give them a moment, give them, hell, another round, come, the one to do it, it's 2 rounds, but it's a step.
Stepped in the right direction, and again, no missteps allowed. LEV, they pick up that first one. It gets a little close at the end there. Came down to the wire in that post plant, that 5 versus 5 utility coming out from both sides. LEV a little bit on top of those trades, and taking out that flank as well was huge. It was massive, but LEV, if they want to be able to do this comeback, remember, Team Heretics started with a couple of flawless rounds to open up the game, build that economy, build the ulti economy as well, and also, at the same time, deny LEV the ability to get their ultimates on line.
Miniboo.
Right here, another fight, Miniboo.
Easy.
Does he catch one?
Nice from Aspas. A really big opportunity for him to warm into this game too. These are the moments where you become truly legends. People refer to him as the GOAT of the game. I don't blame you, but you need him right now. At 6 to 12, this has not been a career performance for him at all. But if there's a time to turn up, it's the next couple of rounds if they get the grace to have them. Aspas forced away.
It's not pretty at all.
It's not, but luckily you don't fight alone with LEV. He's got support there. Mazzino, Com, have his back. Benji gonna hear this cross. They get dealt with. Mazzino the one to keep this together. To keep the round looking likely. Maybe a third could come in. As Rien's the last one alive. And this should be stability for LEV.
I don't think the macro decisions here are bad for LEV. They're good, they have that map control. They control the rotation so well, but it's where they come in and the execution of everything, making sure that they're together, they're hitting their shots. Some of these situations are getting really close. Remember, this was just pistols for Team Heretics. They took out Auspas. Com and Tex came really low as well. Had their big guns, been shields on the other side, different story. So, LEV, again, this is the first big test. If you can't get past this hurdle, there's no shot.
I will see you again.
Show us what you've got.
Deep breaths now. 3 to 11. As you said, first big challenge. Big test. No bigger stage for it to be on. And Heretics, well, they can take chances, they can take risks. And right now, they're trying to just escape. Aspas, perfect. Takes away Benji, trying to clear the box, make sure. Does his due diligence. He knows that someone's going to try to sneak around there, but no. We know that already Woot's backed away. But a perfect start to things. Quell some of that confidence. Slow down Heretics.
Heretics, such a big lead that they can choose to do some riskier plays to see if they can shut down LEV before they're able to get anything. A great clear on that C-mound area by LEV. But here they come back to A. Already Team Heretics bolstering the position. Tex goes down.
Rien's. Oh,
No
in
way.
a hail of
Not
bullets.
like this, man.
LEV are being decimated. King, Com, Aspas. Where do you go? Do you look towards B? I up C. You're not going A anymore.
This is when silence is deafening. You hear your own heartbeat pumping louder and louder as you realize that the end of the tournament life is quickly, rapidly
looming.
approaching.
20 seconds. Boo on the other side of this smoke. The spike is hit.
Dodges it. No, no.
It passes.
No.
Boo with an
No.
opportunity to break their heart, and he's doing it! Shattering left to pieces. And King, too little, too late!
There's no timeouts. That's it. LEV, they had that first opening at C. The risky play from Team Heretics did not pay off. But the response re-ends the Odin spam. Blind through the door, just catches one randomly, catches a second randomly, and it's all unraveling for LEV. Slipping the gap here as well. It's just unreal the way that LEV is losing right now. They have to be heartbroken. They have to be.
One away. Heretics, one away. LEV had to watch this go from bad to worse. Seeing their chances slip away. There's an ult to work with. There's still a buy in hand, and they are gonna give it everything they have to try and stay in this tournament, to stay in champs for a chance at the finals. Aspas, but it's Miniboo and Boo back to back, doing so much damage towards LEV, leaving them in a 2v3. And Mazzino is so isolated. Benji takes away Tex, and now on the verge. It's down to 1. Miniboo, Benji, Woot. They show patience as they slowly close in. They look to finish with a flourish. The paranoia going through Mazzino. Can you step up when it matters most? Can you handle the pressure? The answer is no, as Heretics in name and in nature, defying belief and lock in the grand finals.
LEV, they came so close. They showed so much tenacity. And if there's any takeaway from this series, it's not about how maybe bad LEV might have played. It's about how good LEV played, but Team Heretics are a cut above right now. They're playing flawlessly.
Spot on. Give it a moment. For what it means to them. Sheer elation for Heretics to face a team that they'd lost to here recently, to face those maps again. And on the other side, LEV, a team who've been made for greatness, and they got this close, so damn close. But today, it wasn't their day.
Close isn't good enough when you're in the champs deep run. Team Heretics, they're on that stage right now, and oh man, their progression, you can see, you talked about it, they lost that first matchup, that head-to-head, but here, in that rematch, it looked like a completely revamped team, different, and you have to look at what contributes to that. It's got to be the coaching staff. You have Niels, you have Weber, a lot of it probably on the shoulders of Boo, the in-game leader, but also the players, the stars. You have Rienz, you have Benji, you have Woot, you have Miniboo. Like, you talk about this team, you're highlighting all these other players. Miniboo, he slips the discussion somehow.
Even though he's top of the board in the last map?
He's top of the board. He's been frying the last couple of days. Neon Rays, it doesn't matter. He's in there. These guys are good.
Yeah, they are damn good. I'm glad you mentioned Rienz. In my mind, he's out there as potentially one of the MVPs. I'm glad the desk was talking about it earlier too. He's had a belting performance. And you're right, you could pick so many of the players. And God, it's hard to look towards LEV at times. I mean, gave it a go. But what are you meant to do against a side that looks to be getting stronger and stronger? Heartbreak for Com there. It's hard in these moments to see the absolute stark contrast between the winners and losers, but you can see what it means to make it to those finals, to get a shot again and again. He's felt that high before. Maybe he'll feel it another time, but it won't be in Champions this time around.
Heretics, they've been on the receiving side. When they've hit the grand finals, they've suffered. They've been quoted saying they would rather like lose early than get second place again.
Yeah.
And here they are, set up in that moment where it's either they win it all or they go out in second again. Are they going to let this happen, or have they learned? We've seen their growth so far.
Yeah.
Is it enough though?
EDG, the final boss. I mean, they have looked something else. Something else. Take a moment, drink it in. Heretics will be back to this stage. For LEV, I think they've made some fans here today.
Absolutely.
Hard game, hard opponent, and a hard walk to that backstage area. Never easy in these moments, but a glance back throughout at least the last map here, in case you missed it. And it was, well, quite quick, really.
It was just a reel of, I mean, a lot of these fights came down to these big team fights. Team Heretics coming in on top, positioning, the crossbars that they have, the understanding of where they need to push, keep the pressure on next. And of course, you have moments like this, the Odin spams, the smoke spams, just random things happening.
Yeah.
Just sometimes the luck is in your favor and sometimes it's against you. And right now, just how the stars aligned for this team was magical.
And they made something of it as well. It's one thing to have the luck, sometimes they let it slip away, you don't utilize it, but here, gosh, it almost felt like a mercy killing at a 13-3. LEV just didn't have it in him anymore, but someone who does have it in him, who has been outstanding, is Rienz, who's standing by the Verizon post-match interview.
Inspire Arena, let me hear it for Rienz! 리엔즈 선수 만나보도록 하겠습니다. 오늘 3대1 승리로 결승에 진출하게 됐습니다. 벤지피시 선수는 정말 숨을 가쁘게 몰아쉬기도 하고 미니부 선수도 굉장히 신나 보였는데 리엔즈 선수 담담하거든요. 지금 어떤 기분인지 물어보도록 하겠습니다. Congratulations, Rienz. 3-1 to advance to the grand finals. We saw the sigh of relief from Benji and also Su from Minibu as well. But you seem pretty calm. Like, what's going on? How do you feel right now?
I mean, I'm so happy, but I'm kind of like Boo, you know, I'm kind of chill. Of course, I'm so happy, like I'm also excited, you know. We're gonna play grand final, especially in our like first year, you know, like everybody is joining champions for first time in our team. So I think it's like great achievement, you know, and I'm really confident that we're gonna win.
Oh, win the whole thing? Okay. 먼저 부 선수랑 리엔즈 선수가 성향이 비슷해서 좀 이렇게 많이 기쁠 때도 그 감정을 많이 드러내지 않는 편이지만 너무너무 행복하고 기쁘다고 얘기를 하고요. 특히 이렇게 결승전에 진출하게 됐는데 사실 팀에 있는 모든 선수들이 챔피언스 결승전은 처음이기 때문에 또 너무너무 신나고 열심히 해서 내일 우승할 수 있을 것 같다고 얘기를 했습니다. 그럼 먼저 가볍게 게임 얘기 좀 여쭤보고 싶은데요. 뭐 선셋에서도 그렇고 어비스에서도 그렇고 이 부 선수가 사이트를 혼자 보는 일이 많았거든요. 좀 부 선수의 콜이 그렇게 나온 건지, 부 선수를 선수들이 믿고 있는 건지, 아니면 이게 전략의 일부인지도 물어보도록 하겠습니다. Speaking of Boo, we see him holding a side by himself a lot, especially on Sunset A, also on Abyss on his Astra as well. Is this part of your game plan, or is this more of him giving you the calls and the teammates having that full faith in him that he can definitely hold the side on his own?
I mean, I would say like we trust Boo so much, so whatever he says, we listen. And if he says that he can hold the side solo, we will, of course, just believe him and just show.
And he does, right? He does.
Exactly.
부 선수에 대한 믿음이라고 얘기합니다. 부 선수가 이제 뭐라고 콜을 내리기만 하면은 선수들은 그걸 따를 준비가 돼 있고, 부 선수가 만약에 선수들이 다가오는데 내가 사이트 혼자 다 막을 수 있다라고 하면은 충분히 막을 수 있다고 믿기 때문에 이런 믿음이 빛나는 답변을 줬는데요. 리엔즈 선수 그리고 올해 데뷔해서 국제대회는 2번째 결승전에 진출하게 됐는데 사실 1년 내내 정말 꾸준한 폼을 보여주고 있습니다. 이렇게 큰 무대에서도 용기와 폼을 잃지 않는 비결은 무엇인지도 물어보도록 할게요. Speaking of, first time in the grand finals for champions, this year, it's your debut year, and yet you've been consistent throughout all international tournaments and throughout all regional tournaments as well. Heading into that second grand finals of this year, I want to ask you, how do you keep so consistent and strong? Does nothing scare you?
I mean, I think everybody in the team loves each other, so there is no mental issues in the team. Everybody trusts each other, and everybody is have stamina to work hard because we are young people, I would say, and we are just working hard. Our coaches are working hard, and our team, I don't know, just supporting us a lot. And we had some good performance coaches that I want to thank. Yeah.
아무래도 이 선수들이 어리기 때문에 충분히 이런 힘든 여정을 견딜 끈기도 있고 그리고 팀 분위기가 너무너무 좋기 때문에 사실 멘탈 관리가 팀적으로 그렇게 힘들지 않다고 얘기를 해서 그런 부분이 리엔즈 선수 개인적으로도 많이 도움이 되는 것 같고 그리고 퍼포먼스 코치님을 포함해서 이제 코칭 스태프도 굉장히 많이 도와주고 있기 때문에 또 본인의 폼이 이렇게 꾸준할 수 있다고 얘기를 하는데요. 마지막으로 EDG에게 내일 경기 앞두고 하고 싶은 말 한마디 듣고 끝내도록 하겠습니다. Tomorrow, EDG. Miniboo said, now's not the time to trash talk, but I feel like you could be up for it. So anything you'd like to say to EDG?
No trash talk.
Okay.
I agree, my brother.
Worth a shot.
So we keep being humble, but I'm really confident that we're gonna play good game. So we also beat them before in Shanghai, and I think we have some positive part against Chinese teams. So
Okay.
yeah, let's.
You learned some positive parts.
I mean, I think we are good against them.
Okay, yeah.
So we'll just see tomorrow.
Okay.
Good luck.
상하이에서 EDG 한번 꺾어봤고 또 상성상 중국팀 상대로 헤리틱스가 굉장히 잘하는 것 같기 때문에 내일도 열심히 해서 좋은 경기 겸손하게 펼치면서 우승을 할 수 있었으면 좋겠다고 얘기했습니다. 이렇게 해서 리엔즈 선수 만나봤습니다. Thank you, Rian.
Thank you.
Good luck in the grand finals.
Thank you. 감사합니다.
And that's all we have for the post-match interview today. Bye-bye.
Oh, what a day we have had. I've got Kilios back here with me, joined by two very special guests. It's the coaching staff of Team Heretics, Neil Zenio and Weber. Guys, congratulations. Huge congratulations today. But we have been here before. How many finals is it this year?
3, I believe, right?
3, I think, yeah.
3, I think, yeah.
Yeah?
I think so.
You're kind of used to it now at this point.
Yeah, we're chilling.
Yeah.
Nice.
You were chilling throughout that game as well?
Yeah, honestly, that was pretty zen.
It was alright, yeah. Not too bad, not too bad.
What about Abyss after Abyss? Was it still alright?
Yeah,
chilling?
I think on Abyss, we kind of just... I mean, they played well, first of all, but I think we kind of just let the control of the game go ourselves. Our communication dropped a little bit. We lost a few, really stupid post plants, and then it kind of just snowballed from there. So when we got to Lotus, we just told the guys to reset and focus purely on ourselves, and yeah. We know how to win, so.
One of the things that I've been talking about up here that, I was just kind of grasping at straws, but hoping that this was going to be the case. Do you think that after the final at Shanghai, losing to Genji, that helped build up, the endurance and mentality for the players to be able to go through a longer series?
I would say basically all of the experience we've had this year is kind of came into one and got to the point where, we can deal with a best-of-5 series because we had a small struggle against Carmine in the kickoff, and then we had the same in Season 1 against Fnatic. Hopefully now we've managed to get to that point where we can deal with a best-of-5 and kind of, even if we go 2-0 up and we lost the map today like we did, we can come through and get the third map that we need.
Yeah, you had tons of experience this year. I mean, if we look back on it. I just really quickly want to talk about some Miniboo slander. I've seen it on the interweb. I'm sure you guys have seen it as well, but he's just at I feel like the lower bracket, when it really matters the most, he's proving everybody wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I think for us, we've never... I don't know, one thing we tell the boys to focus on is just stay away from social media, stay away from what people are saying. Obviously, it makes that a little bit harder when he goes out and trash talks, but he's not a toxic person, right? He just does it purely for fun.
He's passionate.
Yeah, he just does it for fun. It's just like a kid enjoying the game and joking. He's playing against the best players in the world, So for us, I don't know, it's weird seeing it because it's everything he does for us is so huge. Like, even if he's not on top of the scoreboard, he makes so much space, he buys so much time, his communication is insane. He's like our second hype man alongside Benji, so he just brings so much more to the team that, you know, it's easier for people to criticize him from the outside, but you don't really understand it until you kind of jump into our comms and watch him play.
I mean, getting ready to jump into this series, was there anything that you had said particularly to Miniboo? Was that necessary to kind of take him aside, given that this is his first time, you know, in a best-of-5 on a global stage? Was there any kind of parting words of advice that you'd given to him, or was he pretty much set to go?
Not really. Like, I think we just tried to normalize it, right? Like, it's just like a culture we have in our team. We came here for experience this year, and that's all it is. It's experience for him, you know. So just embrace it. Like, we always tell the boys, like, take every moment and live in it. Don't think about the future. Don't think about the past too much. You spend too much time worrying about that, you don't focus on the present. So
I think people forget that he's literally was at school. He
Yeah.
just graduated from school. But I mean, your journeys, even the two of you, has been crazy. I feel like since you've been in Valorant, you've gone up against so many incredible opponents. I mean, Leviathan, I feel like playing against them twice in this tournament, you don't get that shot at players like Aspas and Com that often, right? So what's that experience been like?
No, it's been nice. I mean, I don't think myself personally, I've not done anything against Leviathan before, so just being able to kind of experience that and their playstyle, it's been enjoyable, especially to try and prepare for them. It's a very tough team to prepare for, so yeah, I think we managed to handle ourselves quite well. So
is Aspas as good as everyone else says? Because I feel like he is everyone's idol's idol.
Is it kind of that thing where like you're watching and you see like you have 3 players alive, and then you realize, oh, it's Aspas that's on the other side? Like, we might not be out of the woods yet, you know?
I mean, he is obviously extremely talented, right? But that's another thing that me and Weber have kind of told the boys a lot. Like, don't focus on the names, just focus on Raze, Jet. Like, we don't want to
focus on the agents.
Yeah, focus on the agents, and it's like he's just a different type of duelist. I think Safe for us is extremely hard to play against. I'd say like someone like Safe is so explosive. Like, he'll send himself in first. He'll just rip the bomb site apart, and there's nothing you can do against it. Whereas if you watch a couple of games of Aspas, it's manageable, you know.
He takes a more measured approach when he plays. So
he's a very smart duelist. So
I agree. I feel I now remember Safe on Sunset. He's just everywhere.
Don't remind us, please.
Oh, but he is literally everywhere. But let's take a look at the bracket, because we are down to just 2 teams. I would love to know if you guys at home predicted this.
No one did.
Is this how it went? How you guys expected it to go as well?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like, we always back ourselves, right? Like, we know if we play our game, we can get to the finals. I didn't expect DGD to get it, but they've played like super good this whole tournament. So
kind of on that note, as you get ready to go up against EDG, I mean, Rian said, you know, I'm going to stay humble, no trash talk. I'm wondering if you guys have a little bit of a different taste and flavor about you, because we did hear from Kaplan in one of the half times, and he said EDG win tomorrow no matter what. Do you have any reply to that?
No, like, dude, it's the grand final of champions. Like, you are good if you've got to the final of champions, you know? Like, there's no slander from me. Like, they work extremely hard, same as every other team here, and you need to be on your A game.
I think on the other side of this is, obviously you guys were in China, you experienced the fandom, the Chinese fans. They love you guys, you know, whether it's you knocking out all of their teams or, you know, the Wood streams on Bilibili and so on and so forth. What's it like for you two as well? I mean, I feel like this is the last thing you would expect, right? Coming into this team, picking up these boys, going to a different region, and they just instantaneously fall in love with you.
I think it's just testament to how likable they are as characters as well. Like, I think they just put the best version of themselves out there.
Not them, you as well.
Oh, us.
All of you, yeah.
I wasn't in China.
The collective.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
I mean,
you count.
I've never experienced anything like it, to be honest, when I was in China. It was crazy. Like, we'd go out for dinner and then people were swarming you. It's, I don't know, man, it's madness.
Yeah.
Crazy, like, crazy fan base. It was so nice.
Anything you want to say to the VCTCN fans? Because as much as they love EDG, they love you guys as well. They're going to be looking forward to this.
I mean, for me, like, I just want us to put on a good show, and I want everyone to have a fun time. Like, whatever happens, happens. Yeah, a good time. Like,
fun time.
A fun time.
What about you,
a fun
Ever?
time. Like,
we'll just see tomorrow, to be honest. I'm a more like, we'll have a good game. We'll have fun out there. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay, and then we'll do the talking afterwards. Yeah, we'll do some talking afterwards. But thank you very much. Massive congratulations today once again. Thank you for joining us as well. Thank you very much to you, Seth. You guys, we are down to just 2 teams. One more day. We also have an hour-and-a-half gold carpet pre-show with a ton of guests. All of your favorite streamers and pro players, they're all going to be there. It will be the biggest day of this entire year. Thank you so much for you guys at home for watching. We'll see you tomorrow at the grand finals. I can't believe I'm saying that. Grand finals.
Finally here.
The grand finals is on the line here. Just one best of 5 stands in the way of either Team Heretics or Leviathan making it.
Takes a look to the left, looks to the right, and he waits. That's patience, that's discipline, and that's a good goddamn reward!
Thank you, crowd, you saved me.
Wall, and he finds a player, and the follow-up for Rienz. Heretics finding the perfect balance. Aggression, discipline, message sent. Heretics are here today, and they mean business. Punished King, and now, no way, Mini Boo, double back. God, so evasive. A little adrift, but he finds his way forward, fighting through market, looking for a follow-up towards Rienz. He didn't catch the timing, and Tex catches his man. Tex in that round was instrumental. Mini Boo flies in, but it's Boo to find Tex, and suddenly they're falling like flies. King can only do so much. Heretics extinguish the fire that was lit underneath Lev. Map 2's theirs, and they go 2-0 up. Made himself a little corner to play out of. They had no idea that he could be there. Benji put it on a show, put it on a class. Takes strides and takes down Rienz. Oh, what a follow-up. Perfect shot. They are clearing house. Leviathan are here to play. Right now it's King doing the best he can. Oh, King decimating Heretics 13-9. Leviathan are not down. They're not out. They're still in this. This falls. Now it falls towards Boo. Gets overwhelmed. Tex clearing house. Put it on the top of the box. The numbers stay with Heretics. Mini Boo draws blood. Rienz, Heretics line him up and knock him down. Heretics in name and in nature, defying belief and lock in the grand finals.
If we kill, we will win. If they kill, they will win. That's all.
Just do this.
Cold. Come on, go!
This time we're gonna shake them.
Here we go again.
Better win the tournament now, you hear me?